speaking of metal, see,
Yes.
we do have a I think our lexicon of music is our vocabulary is very different. Like I know I hear a lot you talking about a lot of bands that I just like I don't know anything about. I've heard the name before, and I'm sure kind of vice versa.
Mhm.
But we do have a common interest in Danzig.
The Great Uniter is my favorite
New
lump at Planet
Lodi, New Jersey's own.
Danzig. Yeah, so I grew up in a town called Hasbrook Heights, which is literally down the street from Danzig's hometown, and basically the
Lodi.
Misfits' hometown.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think my ex was going to Danzig's cousin. Like Danzig's cousin was his dentist. Like that's the level of New Jersey.
I want your teeth.
Perfect. And yeah, like
Tattoo.
me, it was very easy to get into Danzig. I actually only really got into Danzig last year.
Yeah,
Uh,
how did that happen?
Thank
Because
you.
I
2 minutes to
it's a
late
very
night.
big contrast to the other stuff that I hear you talk about all the
I
time.
mean, I like metal. Like when I was in high school, I was getting into like Torch and like I was getting into some of these but more like the math core of it all, like the Hella and like all of those bands.
Dillinger
Um,
Escape Plan.
yeah, and I could have like gone more into metal and instead I went way more into Midwest emo. Like when I was
Mhm.
18, that's what I was picking up.
Yeah, see, you're gonna be so mad at me, but I
What?
walked out of a Bright Eyes show once.
That's not the emo I'm even talking about. I'm talking
Okay.
about like Appleseed Cast, Jade Tree Records, Algernon Cadwallader, like
Well,
the
I'm glad that you're not mad at me for that.
Twinkly. No, I don't care. Like if someone
But
doesn't
don't
like
you love
something,
Connor Oberst? I
yeah,
wanted to
pretty
enjoy
good.
it.
I'm seeing Connor tomorrow, but like not
Wow,
everybody loves Connor, and
that's
not everybody
fair.
loves the stuff I listen to or make, which is fine. But yeah, I went way
I was
more
there for
in.
the Faint.
Oh god. Oh, well, see,
I love
hey,
the fucking Faint.
see, there you go. But yeah, I went way more in the Midwest emo direction in college. So like, I had an interest in metal, and
It's
then
kinda laying dormant.
yeah, I just like didn't step into it. But there are things that I like that definitely take influence from metal. Like I enjoy Coheed. I think very obviously there's an influence of metal. I wouldn't call them metal myself. I would call them like
Oh, yeah, they have very
prog.
metal influences,
Yeah.
yeah,
So like there were bands that I
that's
enjoyed
fair.
that had these influences. Recently I got into Botch and I was like, oh my God, like where was this hiding from me all my
I
life?
don't really know them.
Oh, Botch is great. It's
How
this
would you
like
describe them?
it's math core. It's like
Okay.
a hardcore element with math rock kind of
It
playing.
sounds very early 2000s.
Yeah, it was. It was. But that's like they're kind of affiliated with like Minus the Bear, Russian Circles, like that whole brotherhood of bands. But yeah, last year I stumbled upon 2 Minutes to Late Night, which is a really
Yeah,
incredible
yeah.
platform. They're very
Yes,
devoted to
Lothar
metal.
from Gwar was on that.
Yes, yes. And I fell in love with Snakes of Christ. They did a Snakes of Christ little cover tribute, and it just kicked off for me. I had
Hmm,
always, like, people had always suggested I get into Danzig. It's happened a lot. I've dated a couple of middle aged dads who were like, you
yeah.
have to get into Danzig.
Well,
And
you must have known Mother, right?
yeah, like I knew of Misfits stuff. I didn't
Okay.
really know.
What's your relationship to the Misfits then?
I prefer Danzig. If I'm putting on something of Danzig's, I'm probably putting on Lucifuge. I'm probably putting on Danzig 3. I
Danzig's 4 is my favorite.
Going Down to Die is great. I'm not that person who's like,
Actually,
"Oh,
Dookie Flyswatter was in a Danzig music video from that album.
I didn't know."
So
Wait,
there you go.
which one? You
I
can
don't
tell me later.
remember.
I know, I hate to put people
It's
on the
but
spot
I
like
mean, you can't see him in it. He's an extra in the crowd, but he was
that.
there.
Cool. Perfect
Yeah.
perfect way to tie it back. But
And it
yeah.
was directed by Dean Carr, who's in my documentary.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, good. Maybe we can ask him if we need to.
Yeah.
Um,
He
yeah,
didn't know Dookie was there even though he knew him. He was just a
that's
paid extra. That's what's like what he was doing. You find Dookie in the background of strange 90s movies like The Bodyguard. You know, if you've seen The
oh,
Bodyguard, you've seen
yeah,
Dookie Flyswatter.
I
Maybe
have seen
just
The
for 2
Bodyguard.
frames, literally, but he's there and you saw him. It's like a subliminal messaging.
That's fun.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I had to just throw that out
No,
there.
That's why we're here. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think Danzig
Oh,
clicked.
I should have put that in my new trailer. That's gonna make a lot of more sense in a few minutes.
Yes. But yeah, that's how I got into him just last year, and I just fell in love so quickly, and I made up for lost time. It makes sense. He's a 5'3" Bergen
Mhm.
County Italian. I'm a 5'3" Bergen County Italian. Just the kinship was
And do
there.
you want to put it out there, this dream project of yours that I
Oh,
claim base duties in?
yeah, I always joke about this, but it's not really a joke. I say it's a joke to like as a defense mechanism, but it's not a joke. I would love to do a Danzig cover band because I sing Danzig better than I sing my own goddamn music. For some reason, just if I'm like singing something, I can just riff off of his stuff better than I can do on my own. But because my Mount Rushmore of identities is like Danzig, Harry Styles, Nick Cage, and Fran Drescher, my dream is to do a Danzig cover band where I just inexplicably dress up as the nanny and I call it Franzig.
You
And
gotta
again, like
sing
I'm
in that
joking
accent
about
too,
this.
right?
I don't know. I feel like what I would do instead,
Would you
because like
change the lyrics at all, or?
no, I don't think no. I wouldn't want to change the sacred texts. And I don't think people
Oh,
would
it's
actually
not that
want
sacred.
I don't think people would actually want to hear the voice for like a 30-minute set. But what I would do is I would do a Danzig inspired
There's that Ned
keyboard
Flanders fucking band.
of the theme song. Yeah, I've heard about the Ned Flanders band, but I would do like a Danzig, like she was working in a bridal shop in Flushing, like do like a whole
Hmm.
Danzig thing for the nanny theme.
I don't know. I think you should try with the accent. It'd be funny.
Maybe I
But
would
there would be
talk.
a lot of extra effort, probably.
Oh my god, yeah, I can't imagine doing that to my
Like, it
voice.
might drive you insane just practicing it.
Yeah, and I already like don't feel like I'm a good singer. Constantly, I'm like I'm the worst singer of all time. So
Same here. I
I
only
don't
do it
know
out
if
of
that would
necessity.
like really screw with my confidence even more if my voice was like getting the muscle memory of sounding like that. I follow Danzig on Instagram and sometimes he just posts Instagram stories of like OnlyFans girls and I'm like, "You know what? I
Well, he's
actually feel
dating like a porn star.
I actually feel comforted by this because that's exactly what I would expect him to be sharing." Like,
Hey, I
yeah,
support sex work. If you're on OnlyFans, I
that's what I'm
support
saying.
it.
It's fine
I'll
for
subscribe
me.
to your page and check it out. I like to support the arts.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, this is exactly what I would expect for him to post. So it has not like ruined
But he
my.
doesn't have his own, huh?
He doesn't have his own OnlyFans. No, Only Dan's. It would be
Would
Only
you
Dan with a
would
Z.
you subscribe if Danzig had an OnlyFans?
It would depend on what he was doing.
Well,
Like
have
if
you
he,
seen his first movie, Verotic?
I actually so funny. I have not seen Veronica yet. I plan on doing it. I just haven't seen it yet. I'm like nervous. I'm less nervous about the Western. I'm more nervous about Veronica.
It's rough. It's a rough ride.
Yeah, I would not want to watch it alone either. So I'm like someday
No, you shouldn't.
get
I
my
think
mind
I did.
together.
Oh man, I just feel so bad because like you've heard about these movies that are so bad they're good. But I'm
This
sorry.
one isn't.
Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers is actually a good movie. It
It
does
looks
live up.
fun.
There's a reason it's on 2K fucking Blu-ray now.
It looks fun.
Exactly. Verotic, I
Nah,
almost wish I was at a screening with him because there were certain scenes I hear people just started laughing and he didn't understand why.
it's
And
like
it's just like,
it's the Tommy Wiseau
oh,
girl. It's like the Tommy Wiseau
you
effect.
don't want him in the room when you're watching it. It's uncomfortable.
Danzig is the hybrid of like Tommy Wiseau and Nick Cage.
Right, but he's not trying to be either of them.
I know,
I
and maybe
think
that
he's
lack of self awareness.
I think he's becoming a little bit more self-aware, probably through that experience in his older age.
I've
But
heard so I mean, I know a producer on some of his projects. I met this guy
mhm.
randomly on Instagram and he was like, Danzig actually has like the best sense of humor of anyone I've ever met. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, he gets everything. And I was like, oh, like
But does he get himself? There's
I
like he might
so
be a funny guy and enjoy funny things, but
what
does he
I
understand
was
himself?
what I was told was I posted this meme. There's this account called Foul Peralta on Instagram, and they'll take like, you know, they'll take a picture of like Will Ferrell from a movie and they'll put like a band logo over it. It's that simple.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, yeah.
matching, like, you know, it's kind of just making fun of the band, making fun of the concept. It's usually
Yeah,
not.
like Hanson, but Nirvana.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I posted one and it was Nick Cage, like definitely like Valley Girl era with like this leather jacket on, and they just captioned it Danzig. And I reposted this, and the guy who knows Danzig saw it and he was like, I'm sending this to him. I was like, why would you send this to him? And he was like, he's gonna love it. He like we like reference Nick
I
Cage
hope
stuff all the
so.
time. He was like, he knows Nick Cage. I think he knows of Nick Cage. I don't know if he knows Nick Cage.
Right.
And he's like,
He
he's
might know Nick Cage.
and I was like, wait, he's really gonna like this? He's like, yeah, like he gets this stuff. He enjoys this. So I guess he at least knows like memes and has that understanding.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it made me
interesting.
happy. I was like, oh, good, like cool. So if I ever met him someday, like not that I would be like
I
Danzig to his face, but I would just be like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
he can chill. He can.
I had a chance. I had several chances and I blew all of them.
Oh no.
No, I think it's for the better. Like, there's some people you just might not want to meet.
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
feel like he might be one of them.